Mali's military junta has banned all political activities, saying that it's needed to maintain public order. Earlier this month, more than 80 parties and civic groups called on the military leadership to hold presidential elections as soon as possible. Mali has been under military rule since a coup nearly 3 years ago. Well, we can now speak to Adama Gaye, who's a political commentator and a former communications director at ECOWAS, joining us from Dakar. Welcome back to Al Jazeera. So we know why the junta is saying that they've taken this action, but the question is, why have they done it now?
They have done it now because they needed to retaliate to the civilian organization, political parties and associations, calling on the junta to respect its commitment to do the civilian transition on March 26, 2024. So this seems as if being a pretext from the junta to eliminate the civilian threat, to not allow them to organize themselves, and although have a chance for them to prolong their stay in power. This is something very bad for democracy. It is really the last thing that should have happened to Malian democracy and hope for democracy. And the military have done it very badly at the last moment when people expected Mali to return to civilian rules.
Look, and I mean, there's no indication so far as to when Mali will be holding the presidential elections after the delay that was announced by the junta. What do you think the end game is here?
Oh, there is likely going to be a battle between the military and the civilian. A very serious battle, because the military, they feel they are freed from the observation of ECOWAS. Since Mali left on January, ECOWAS, the regional body, the regional organization that has stringent rules on democracy and good governance. Now that they are free and belonging to another bloc, which is the AES, the Sahelian state, now they think they can do it at their will. But the civilians of Mali are known to have fought for democracy. Don't forget that in 1991, March 26, 1991, they managed to topple through demonstration in the streets, a former military powerhouse that used to be ruling Mali in the person of Moussa Traoré. And in the past 10 years, the civilians, led by Imam Diko and other key local players, managed to be strong against the military. At this moment, with the military not delivering economic progress, not delivering on their democratic commitment, not delivering on their commitment to leave power and return the leadership to the civilian, there would be most likely a battle between them and truly the civilian.
When you say a battle, though, what do you mean by a battle? I mean, how do you see that playing out, and what are the civilians' next steps?
If they go out in the street in their droves and start demonstrating, calling on the military to respect the rule of law and cut their relationship with some toxic forces like the Russians, they must have most likely the possibility to have the support from not only African countries who are fed up with these excess activities of the military in whether Mali, Burkina Faso or Niger, and they may have the support also from the international community. And in this battle, at the end of the day, the military will not win.
What cards do they have to play? I'm speaking of the regional countries. I mean, how closely are they going to be looking at this development, and what's their reaction going to be?
Oh, of course, they seem to be happy with what is happening in Mali because they want to play the military card to the excess view that they believe they should entrench themselves in power because they say that the civilians, they have been in politics and preventing the progress of their nations. Of course, there is a problem because in many of the countries in West Africa, from Mali, including my own country, Senegal, you have hundreds of political parties created by people who have not been doing anything but just benefiting from the receipts of the states. to live large and not delivering and not allowing progress, economic development to be delivered. But in this situation, even though Niger and Burkina Faso are happy with what is going on in Mali, the reality is that whether Mali, Burkina Faso, or Niger, and even beyond in other African countries in West Africa, they have not been able to fight the scourge of terrorism, the scourge of underdevelopment, the scourge of militarism. All these problems are there, and truly, no matter what people say at this stage, the military have failed so far to be an alternative force to the civilian. In the past, we expected maybe the military to bring peace and stability, but now they're creating a chaos. In most of the country, they are ruling without fixing the problem of terrorism, people being killed, and the rule of law disregarded. So it is a serious mess that the military have created, and the civilians have the right to
Thank you so
retaliate.
much for speaking to us from Dakar.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.